Hello, everybody, and welcome to your last game of the day. My name's F. Dot, joined here by Brandon, DM Brandon. Brandon, how's it going?
Three. You said Brandon at the end there too.
Yeah, just extra Brandon.
Extra Brandon.
So anyway, we've got a fantastic matchup coming up next for you.
Last one of the day.
Last one of the day. We have, who do we have today?
Agilitas and the Potato Boys will be playing out here. And now remember, guys, they have faced each other many times before, and Agilitas has gotten the better of them every single time. They will go in as first pick here, so a slight advantage in the picking phase to the Potato Boys.
Yep, Agilitas is going to get first pick. They're going to ban out Mercury, which is a direct shot at adapting. For those of you unfamiliar with this team over here, the Potato Boys, you can compare adapting similarly to Weaken. They have a similar god pool, very strong, sort of undervalued players that can really perform at a high level, but have a specific god pool that they like to perform with.
Right. Bans already, Geb getting taken away again by first pick. Very confusing to me that they wouldn't opt for it. Nuwa getting locked out as well. Extremely strong. Great use of Global Ultimate. Can ensure that people just cannot push objectives. So she gets taken away. First pick to Agilitas, and they hover on Ra.
Yeah, so basically with Geb, Brandon, the way I fymeel it works is Geb is a protective support.
Yes.
He gets CC off of you, very protective. Very different from the Ymir play that we saw out of Kanye Life. Sometimes we see him play Athena as well. Very different from these sort of choices. So they don't. That's not the mindset the support likes to play on Agilitas.
Before we continue, if production can hear me, please update me on the stats of how many games or like the percent of ISIS. Has she won? How is ISIS doing in the win pick or pick ban and the win percent? I missed it on screen, and I don't like this character. I think she is bad.
I think I'm on the other side of the fence, Brandon. I think ISIS has fantastic objective control. The ultimate is damage reduction is a very strong stance.
14%.
Yes. That said, these are not SPL teams.
They should. Well, to be fair, Agilitas is absolutely an SPL team.
Without a doubt. And with that said, ISIS is one of the premier picks for this team. Pretty Prime plays a fantastic ISIS, and Config works off of it. Yeah, they picked it sort of as like a third ban, almost, if you will.
Okay.
We'll see if they can make it work. Potato Boys does like playing unconventional things. We actually saw Shibalanki in the solo lane coming out from Proxy QQ today.
He didn't do badly either.
He didn't, and that's exactly sort of what I'm saying.
But that's Proxy, man. You can put any character. That guy probably has the biggest god pool in Smite. At top level, he could play literally any character in jungle or solo, and I think he'd do at least decently. My issue with the Serket pick before was that while Serket can solo, she is literally the best jungler.
Right.
And you're gimping your team by putting her anywhere else.
I'll agree with that, especially when you have adapting on your team that can do that sort of stuff with that sort of character. Mercury, Serket, Arachne, these are all the types of characters that we see individual zoners like Weaken and adapting play. I love the Kumba ban. That's a Durgius ban.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Strictly a Durgius ban. He plays Kumba Karna at the level that Kumba Karna was played at when people thought he was pick top ban.
Right.
He still is for
He
Durgius.
didn't get nerfed.
No.
People just went,
Gab exists.
Sleeping. Rocks. I love rocks.
Yeah, and I mean, Durgius stuck to his guns. He likes to play the new stuff. Durgius likes to be a little different. And with respects to how Kumba worked out, it really worked out. And that's why you see him banned out so often against this team.
Chalk gets picked up, a character that I have completely just fallen in love with again recently. So tanky, so strong. One of the few warriors that really still has a way to sustain himself all the time. Rain Dance is no joke.
Rain Dance is no joke, especially when combined with the passive. 5 shots in a row, you get a free ability. Even if you didn't have the mana for it, it's now free, which is an interesting...
Free heals. LMAO.
Proxy does pick up the Vamana, though, which is the quintessential solo lane. He's the only warrior that can clear the wave with one ability. Just very smooth, easy. And Proxy on Vamana is actually unconventional.
Yeah, this is not him going assassin or hunter or guardian. We got to win this one.
I'll just follow the rules, and we're going to do this. And this is
and if we lose, I get to go back to Serket.
Yeah, I mean, and this is what we see with Potato Boys. They sort of fluctuate between this really intense, outlandish, crazy type of play, and then we see them go towards a more traditional lineup like they are right now as we take the field.
Right, we're going to be going into the game. Remember, guys, this is the last game of the EU Wildcards for the first week. We have 2 weeks of contention to go through before we find out who is going to be joining, of course, those final teams in the in the kickoff lands.
Yeah, I mean, not only is it a spot in the kickoff lens, but it's also a spot for the SPL. So let you go. These teams win. Let's argue for argument's sake that Agilitas and Potato Boys win. They go to
Potato Boys.
regional lands.
Oh my God, they guessed correctly. Are they going to find anyone though? They have to scoot back around right now. They have to see it. Suntouch is going to get seen here out of position. Repicas. Oh, Cirquette does. Ooh, axed.
Beautiful.
She's going to have Deathbane, and she's going to jump away. That was the one person they couldn't afford to find. You're not catching her. It's just not going to happen.
They do get the split. It was a great move, great subversion coming out from Potato Boys. They avoid the ward that was placed at their speed buff by going beneath it. Just good ideas. And
if they would have just taken a hard right at the Fire Giant and just went right through, straight left into that mid, they would have found 2 kills guaranteed, but they chose a different path. In the beginning, it's all guesses.
yeah.
And it's funny because normally that's not the side of the map where they find kills. It's the left side of the map where the kills happen.
Yeah, it's all Battleship in the beginning. You have no idea. You're going to take a gamble on 1 or 2 spots depending on how you split up. And because of how important this is, you just see them split back to their own camps.
Right here, I want to see Durgius and Suntouch go for the bottom blue. It looks like they are going to make some type of play towards the bottom side. Actually, they're going to go to...
Love it.
What is this craziness? She's stunned out. Durgius coming in from the back. Suntouch trying to get some shots off. Pretty Prime just looking for a way out using the passive. Not enough. First blood goes to Suntouch. Left side. Take a look at Ataraxia and Conley Life. They need to use this time effectively. Get there. Push as fast as possible. Get these creeps in. On the bottom, you're going to see Kanye Life make the right decision. Now, I don't think he used the Hand of the Gods, but I know that Durgius didn't either. Oh, Kanye's in trouble.
Kanye gets stunned out. He's surrounded. Here comes the support from his mid laner that just spawned after giving up that first blood before the 50-second mark. Pretty Prime's going to be able to heal up in his own pool, but everybody on Agilitas level 2 with the exception of Durgius, but he is the support. Playing Ymir, character that is kind of counterintuitive for Durgius. We usually see these CC-oriented setup men, and Ymir is the opposite. Very
Ataraxia
offensive.
just made a huge mistake, by the way, I thought. He left the lane too early, lost 2 creeps, which means he's now going to be behind in experience going to wave. I actually thought Suntouch and Durgius were going to go for that. Suntouch smartly will go to lane here just to poke the creeps. He actually hit the back one once and then bladed out the other 2 because they were in a straight line. Then got the experience from the blue buff. Overall, a big advantage right now for the Potato Boys going into the left side because Ataraxia just didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that is caught off guard right now. Agilitas is the tenured team, as we said so many times throughout the broadcast. They've won all 7 weeks in a row, and Potato Boys come out with an unconventional play.
Confrey in a lot of trouble. Torrent's back. Repicas trying to find something. Adapting gets blown up. Proxy did not stick around long enough, but it looks like they still managed to trade a 1-for-1. But the issue here is that they did give up a kill. The problem is that the kill goes to Ra, a character that was already behind. Giving him that extra experience is allowing him to catch up, and that's not good, especially for Isis, who really needs to be ahead.
Right, Isis definitely needs to be ahead, or at least break even if she wants to do what she has to do. Good taunt coming out from Kanye Life. There's a stun, so they can turn around.
Oh, actually, look at the DR, no problem whatsoever. Repicas gets a huge madness swing. Durgius taking some damage, as is Ataraxia. They're spending too much time on him. He needs to focus. Oh,
double stun.
Oh my God, that was so godlike.
And the blue team is aggressing, and that's going to be a death on the stun touch. Pretty Prime gets credit for that one with the last hit of the Mage Basic. Two more people in red right here, and they're looking at the Gold Fury.
Is this Arena? What is going on here? Why are they all grouping up at 2 minutes? I'm not really sure what's happening here, but now, strangely, 2-2, Potato Boys maintain a small lead, but a lead all the same.
Make that
1-2,
make that 3-2 as the Freya ultimate takes down Kanye Life. Basic credit actually goes to Isis with the last basic, but that was adapting through and through, and that will secure both Harpy cams for Potato Boys left and right, going to the support and the jungler.
Arrow's in trouble here. Mid lane gets picked off. The Deathbane doing just enough damage there. Help, of course, from Pretty Prime and actually Ataraxia as well. But Ataraxia doesn't realize that he's giving up experience for this again.
Right.
Suntouch on the left side is going to push this one to the tower. He will lose stuff here, but the Dev Gloves are finished.
And you know, he did give up some stuff, but I do like that play. You're supporting the middle laner that you need to support. He was giving up. He gave up first blood. You need to make that happen, and this is what Agilitas does. Potato Boys have been playing very well, And Agilitas is only behind by about 600 gold. They're keeping this light. They're getting the kills. They're getting the trades. And that's what they need to continue to do so that it doesn't spiral out of control.
Topside, red did drop there. It's waiting on the ground for ISIS to go pick it up. On the right side, good rotation here coming out from adapting. He backed so that when he gets down there, he'll have option to go to speed and then blue buff. Eyes here on Repikas. Now, he has the option. Does he go for the gank? Does he try to check out for the speed buff? No, he checks towards the right side. Super late, sees that those camps aren't there, and now is just going to try to leech some experience in mid.
Camp sharing coming out from the support and the jungler onto Potato Boys. Good, smart decision-making coming out from there.
Love the use of bombas.
It's about the smaller things, using your items that you purchase instead of just getting mana from them, actually getting both uses of that Bombas mask, as Brandon said. So just great play coming out from in the details from Potato Boys, something that we don't usually see. We see them make good plays, but those smaller things, they're really dialed into this match.
Well, this is a different stage now.
Exactly.
When they were in the Challenger Cup, let's be real, there were not many teams that had contention.
In Europe, not so much.
Right, in North America either. I mean, there was 3 teams. They still, I think, would have made top 2 over there. But the issue here is now they're playing for contention of $1 million. Like they have to step it up.
The Potato Boys are playing for all the chips.
That was. No, we'll get past that one. We'll focus. we'll get there. We'll get there. Shake it off. Shake off the chip joke. All right.
Left-hand side, we're going to see We're going to see Suntouch back at a interesting point. Suntouch backs while his wave comes up, and there's a fight in the middle lane. Arrow drops the ult to provide some distance, and that's going to give him enough spacing to deter Agilitas from really aggressing hard.
You know, I really like the play there, and Repikas did not use his ultimate there. You can still see some poison lingering onto Arrow, who should be a little worried. They're rotating towards the left side. Not at all sure what they're looking for here, but they're going to find Ataraxia, who will get up into the air for at least a little while.
One shot onto Arrow, 2 shots on Arrow. All 3 will hit Arrow, and that's not going to
boost.
That's not going to get a kill. It will confirm that Arrow can't affect this next upcoming skirmish if they want to go in. Right now, you can see them sort of deciding whether or not they want to try and pick off Suntouch here. County Life has that preemptive strike ready. A couple of hits on that block, so they opt not to go. They let Potato Boys slink back. They're behind a little bit, so they want to play it carefully. They really don't want to make it bite off more than they can chew.
I love the rotation from Proxy. He missed 2 creeps in his own lane, but sacrificed 3 creeps in the mid lane, so actually gaining a small amount as well, stripping away some from Pretty Prime, so great rotation. Right side camp's going to go to adapting. A late Searing Pain coming out from Pretty Prime's not going to be able to secure anything this time, but he still goes for it, and I respect the shot.
It's the thought process that we like to see out of these high-level players that we aren't used to seeing yet in the SPL. It's exciting to see the thought process and where these minds are going, even though they're not on the biggest stage just yet. This is the path, though. After 7 long weeks, they're trying to get a kill onto Arrow. Not able to get it, but after 7 long weeks, this is where we wind up with these 2 premier Challenger teams.
Now, keep in mind, going into this, I'm pretty sure both teams are 1-1, correct?
Yes.
So this is a big game. Whoever takes this has a huge advantage going into next week. In fact, if they continue this path of losing to SK, if whoever wins this week doesn't win next week, there's a good chance we'll have a tie on our hands. It all comes down to how well Team Coast can bounce back from today, but with all the rumors of benchings and leavings and quittings and other ings, it's going to be very hard for Coast to find their footing next week.
A very tumultuous time for Team Coast right now. It looks like they've lost at least 1 member of their team. We'll see how that goes further, if they'll come back or if they'll lose more. We don't know just yet, but at the moment, Agilitas and Potato Boys are the teams fighting off in this one, and Potato Boys looking at the Gold Fury. They keep doing this. They keep venturing over to the Gold Fury just to see where Agilitas is, and if they're ready to defend, and, well, the blue team's always there.
Another thing that I love is when they rotate in, they kind of dance around for a second to see if they show up. Like, how heavily is this warded?
Exactly. They want to see how they show up, when they show up, and how deeply they show up. If it's just a jungler, there's no reason to really continue and aggress on, but if the whole team is there, maybe they can get a kill or get a pick.
Right side, Proxy and Comfrey have kind of just been going at this for a while. Right now, Proxy kind of taking some hits there. Comfrey getting the better of him, but he's still a level down. Taking a look at the experience per minute, that baby's far ahead. 684, actually 100 ahead of second place Comfrey. He is way out in front.
Yeah, definitely way out in front is the big baby and handling it well. Whereas we take a look at some of the other stuff, and Just a lot of things pretty split right now. The graphs are split red, blue, red, blue, red, blue in almost all of the categories. It's a closer game than it seems. Definitely feels close. Just under 1,000 in the lead for Potato Boys, and the experience in the same thing. So right now we have 3-on-3 on the kills, just at the 9-minute mark, and both teams looking even. Fight in the middle, not quite.
So right now, it looks like about 200 gold of the Agilitas pool has been spent extra in wards over what Potato Boys have spent. And given the fact that the kills are even, that gold is effective right to the pocket. They're not using this wards to go for fights. They're not using the wards to deter fights. And they're not using the wards effectively to spot out these mid camps. Though it looks like for the first time in a long time, Agilitas has their line to a mid camp.
Dirgeous coming up. Freeze is absolutely nothing. The Hog came out first for Kanye. Freeze is down, and then they will go to town. Dirgeous already halfway down, and one more shot. Repicas gets the kill onto the enemy support. 2 more members around here are lingering. Kanye Life gets stunned out. Repicas and Pretty Prime in the area. They don't want to aggress, though, despite being a 4-on-2 situation. There's a great lift coming out from Adapting. They need to turn on this, but instead they're afraid. 2 members retreat. Repicas makes the call to stay by himself, but now the rest of Potato Boys are coming around.
It's a little bit too late, though. They're too slippery. They'll be able to back out of that one. And in a rare misplay coming out from Dirgeous, the ward was there. He saw the rotation coming in by looking at the minimap. All he had to do was throw a wall up, and he would have been absolutely fine, but he didn't. He's going to throw that one away. Potato Boys, though, still go for the Gold Fury and get it. Agilitas too slow. Free 1,500 gold. They thought without Dirgeous they wouldn't go for it. And now Proxy's going to find a kill onto Adder. What just happened?
Here's the rotation from solo lane paying dividends at the moment. Proxy making that change all the way from the far lane. Confrey did the same thing, but made far less of an impact. The ultimate and the Athena ult were just a little too slow. And one more time, a great lift coming out from Adapting. Really has those banishes on lock. Not enough follow-up, though. Instead, they're going to take the tower, which is just a better choice.
Oh, huge Deathbane coming out, and a pretty snipe coming out as well. They'll be able to trade that 1-for-1 right there, but a good kill. And hey, gold on Cirquette never hurt anybody, except for the people fighting Cirquette.
Good amendment there. Cirquette is absolutely incredible once she gets her going, because the thing with Cirquette is that she doesn't need power, she does percent damage. So as she gets more and more gold, she's just able to build cooldown reduction, which is scary. Since she does the percent damage, you don't really even need the... You always need penetration, but it's percent damage. So you're looking at a Titan's Bane build instead of otherwise. She just has gold to do other stuff because the damage comes naturally.
And what's crazy is that as the game goes on and she does build into crit, Deathbane will start swinging like you wouldn't. It sometimes with just Deathbringer has just killed somebody. Just taunt them, dead. And then maybe sometimes, oh, they have 10% health left. I have an answer for that. Maybe I'll hit them one time.
Yep, it's just a roll of the dice sometimes, and then you go ahead and do what Cirquette does with that Deathbane that crits so much. Similar to the way Mercury's made you look at crits from a distance. It allows the character to have sort of an impact from crit items when you normally wouldn't want them anyway in the first place. 3 members for Potato Boys over here on the left side, making it look like that's what they want to push. Because this dual lane is not a dual lane that they win often, and now that they are, they want to punish it.
So I'm looking at Proxy here. 747 experience per minute, still about 100 ahead of Comfrey. I don't ever want to see him with these nonsense picks. If his baby is this good, I want to see this character more often. And you know, we always talk about this. Characters like even Kumbhakarna, characters just for some reason fall out of the meta. Scylla, for instance, rarely gets picked anymore. It just doesn't make any sense. Vamana should be picked and banned in every game until he's nerfed. He is tanky, he does ridiculous damage, has great push, has great control. It's impossible to control him. He's CC immune for 10 seconds. I don't know whose idea that was. But, like, right here, this is a guy that plays Shibalanke solo lane because why not? Look what happens when you put the baby in his hands.
Yeah, I mean, the baby, the passive is really what makes Vamana Vamana. The Runeforged Hammer is basically double Runeforged Hammer on Vamana because of his passive, which turns physical protection into physical power. It allows him to build tanky. Yep.
I think this is might be a little bit of unknowing. Yeah, you know, they're going into crit here a little bit early.
Right-hand side, Adapting stuck in between a lot of problems. Goes up in the air to avoid most of the stuff, including his friend's ultimate. That's going to hurt. One throw of the axe from Confrey, and that'll be 1 kill onto the jungler from the Agilitas solo laner. Here comes the rest of Potato Boys. Might make Confrey pay, and they do.
Kanye Life actually was forced over to the left lane to protect Ataraxia. So another big win right there, despite the fact that they didn't have the control. Potato Boys drop one, they gain one as well, though Confrey a little bit lower. Randomly, though, Kanye gets picked off there. Ataraxia is super low. Suntouch and Dirgy is about to do some damage to that tower.
Yeah, that ultimate came out from Athena to go from the solo lane to the long lane to help out the Hunter Ataraxia. Unfortunately, both of them were low and decided to engage instead of retreat. Ultimate comes out from Ymir, claims the life of Kanye life, and that's going to be that for the long lane. We should expect this tower to go down. On the right side, the opposite, though. Arrow gets a kill onto the jungler, looking for more.
No, I mean, like, that was ridiculous. What was he even doing? He dived into the tower and decided to go for the character that not only had more health but is infinitely more tanky, uses his entire kit. Don't forget, that ultimate stops him in place. Like, you just stopped yourself in a tower, took 2 shots from that, then you're taking damage from Isis, who has 7 forms of CC. Like, you're not getting out of that. Repicos with a bad call there, gets picked off, and hurts his team once again.
Agilitas looking like a much different team than we've seen the past 2 months, today, and all the games I think they've ever played on a big stage. Here, Potato Boys really running the things just shy of the 15-minute mark. Taking a look at the graph, 3,700 gold differential, 4,500 experience in the way of the red team Potato Boys, and they show no signs of letting up. They're pushing on this solo lane. They're aggressing on a Confrey, forcing him out into the mid lane, and now they're ready to just, looks like they're just going to take the tower as Proxy solos it.
Almost every single person that I've talked to came up with the same thing. They said it's more than likely going to be SK and Agilitas. But right now, Potato Boys are looking good, but it's going to be on Dirgius here to keep this lead alive. It's getting low, blinks in, got the freeze, but he's silenced! Can he find it? Agilitas does take the Gold Fury, and Dirgius will fall.
Fantastic play coming out from Agilitas, showing that they don't want to keep losing. Up in the air goes Ataraxia. Decent damage, but not enough onto the red team. Adapting's going to turn it around. One shot onto Kanye life. One shot onto Pretty Prime. Needs one more. Suntouch can't find the hit. Repicos takes his life. That's going to be 2 down for Potato Boys. Only 1, and that's the support for Agilitas. Plus the gold free. That gold that we just talked a little bit going to go way back up. And there's one more kill. Double kill onto the solo laner Confrey. This lead has shrunk to 1,800 gold, and Agilitas is in trouble.
Oh, Proxy was out of mana. Repicos stopped because he thought he was dead. Proxy turns around completely, and there comes Kanye. Gonna lay down the defender of Olympus. Proxy with a huge rotation was pixels and frames away from getting the kill at the tier 2. Didn't find it. He gets picked off. Has a kill onto Repicos. Repicos knows that he stops moving. Doesn't find it. Tries to escape. Kanye respawns. Ultimate in, and suddenly the lead is down to 1,000, and that's about to shrink again.
They're going to take this middle lane tower. That's about 500 gold into the coffers for this team. 446 gold. If we take a look at the graphs, that graph looks like the Appalachian Mountains, Brandon. It's just absolutely one way, then the other way. Just
it's the reflection of the Adoration Mountain. It's goes down and then up.
Oh, you're not upside down?
Oh no.
Oh, I'm just hanging upside down while casting.
Oh, jeez, that's got to be painful. I used to be able to do that when I was a kid. Now I get dizzy in like 2 seconds.
Almost as dizzy as Potato Boys are being as they take down the middle tower. Just a quick 500 gold to secure a little bit of their lead. 1,000. Still a lot of stuff to worry about. This is what Agilitas does, though. Middle game and late game, they start to come into themselves. Take a look at the characters they're playing. Confrey and, well, Repicos does what he wants. But Ra and Chalk are characters that really do well in the mid game.
You know, speaking of Repicos, he's sitting at about 150 gold right now, which isn't huge.
Yeah.
But he's got the short sword online. So in about 1,500 gold, when that thing turns into a Deathbringer, God help you if she finds you out of position. Yeah,
you referenced before how a single luck of the draw with one Deathbane can take you out. I've seen it. You've seen it. Honestly, we've seen it a couple of times in the SPL. And that's the beauty of, that's sort of the beauty of Circuit. You can just raw kill people like that, or get a little crafty right now. Stun out from Dirgius.
Oh, they're going for it. Kanye not really taking too much damage. Oh, Dirgius with a wall. Not going to help his team, but luckily, Adapting finds a big hit. The shell has been used here. They could Fire Giant off this potentially. It's a little bit early, but they have the potential. They have the damage. They could go for it.
I wouldn't like the Fire Giant play right now unless they got a second kill onto the enemy. Just as you said, it's a little early. I would appreciate the gall that it would take, but I think they need a couple more numbers. That said, Confrey being knocked up in the air from Proxy, he's going to find his way to safety.
Sun looks a little bit flustered there. For the second time this game, threw an axe directly into a wall. There was no option covered, just completely missed it. Left side, strangely, Ataraxia is gonna back. Right side, we will see a push into the tier 1, and they're gonna deter off to the left side here. This jungle is down. I don't know if they know that, but they're not going to find anything. Perhaps they're looking for the split push, but Ataraxia smartly backed and is now just kind of hanging out in the mid lane.
And mentioning the split push, Godfrey notices that there's nothing he can do, notices that the team is fanning out, and takes away 500 gold worth of a tier 1 tower from Potato Boys. And, you know, that's sort of what Agilitas does. They note the smaller things and try to make a win off of it. And now he's just going to turn and fight. Proxy taking a decent amount of damage. Godfrey still at 100%. Turned around, walked away. Proxy really has nothing to do while Agilitas aggresses onto the Fire Giant secretly, and then comes the baby.
Oh, we're going to see a silence come out. Actually not going to hit anyone they were looking for. The Fire Giant actually does get taken. Holy.
That is a big boy play. Kanye Life taking a lot of damage. Freeze is going to take him out. Ataraxia is very low as well. With no more frontline, Agilitas has to be careful. Maybe even give up this tower despite the fact that they do have the buff of the Fire Giant. 5 members deep is Potato Boys. 5 members deep, including the towers. Agilitas, and once they group up, Potato Boys are afraid, and the chase is on. Godfrey leading the way, coming up on them, throws the axe on Dirgius, but this team is out of there, and Agilitas need to look for the next target.
I'm just saying, if Proxy had meditation, they wouldn't be back.
Well, they're not. Dirgius is going to ultimate, take a lot of damage because he has to stand still. Adapting takes out the solo, but in the air, Ataraxia gets Dirgius. That's a 1-for-1 already. Continuing the chase is Agilitas, coming down this solo lane. Arrow very low, takes a good Aegis, but takes a better beam to the face. Pretty Prime avenges his middle lane, takes him out individually. That's going to be a tower. That's going to be 2 kills, and probably not a Phoenix, but I would like to see them at least try the aggress.
Potato Boys still have a very small lead. 800 gold, 600 experience. Not doing them any favors at this point in the game, but that Fire Giant buff allowed them to take back, I think, the draw of the game. They were down once again by a lot.
Yeah, Potato Boys still have the lead numerically, but as far as momentum is concerned, Agilitas are riding this wave. Great sneak Fire Giant into a great siege, into a great kill, took a tower. They have to be feeling themselves right now. They're looking only for the next step. They don't have to think about how much turbulence they've been given this game. Right now, they are on their way to a great lead.
Suntouch cannot be doing what he is doing. This is not a good call. You cannot do this without lifesteal. He has taken far too much damage, even in that melee stance. Could be level 3, but look at this. Now he's forced to escape. Dirgy is still tanking the Gold Fury here, taking extra damage. It does get reset, but Suntouch already took way too much and is just getting exploded.
Great taunt. Ataraxia takes Suntouch in the back thanks to his own health from that Gold Fury, as you mentioned. Good aggression onto Arrow. I love how Agilitas has split up the team. Arrow all by himself, and the lightning beam from Pretty Prime takes him out. 1 member still alive. Just kidding. Dirgius falls to the wayside. Proxy's going to baby defensively, find himself under his own tower. Agilitas will group, coalesce in the middle lane, take out at least this tower because Adapting the only one around to defend.
Proxy rotates back in as well, but his ultimate is down. Doesn't really have a lot of defense to his name either. You're going to see the Rune Forge Hammer, but with the way that Pretty has been swinging, there is no way he can deal with that damage. First Phoenix of the game at 22 minutes will go down, and Agilitas takes a huge advantage.
Yeah, that was the momentum turning into the tangible lead. 29, just 3,000. I will hold that because we will mention the numbers again. Great taunt into just about every ability on the team. Claims the life of Adapting. Here's a blink from Dirgius. Good Ice Carpet. Not quite. The ultimate is going to hit nobody as Agilitas retreats perfectly.
Early detonation on the Spirit Ball, not going to play too much, and oh my god, the amount of control they have with that raw heal. Kanye Life finally getting low there, might go down here, but that's just the support. Ataraxia finds a kill in response. Now, of course, a 1-for-1's not going to do them any favors, but with that Fire Giant buff, it's going to depend on what they can do in the backline. Now, Proxy does find a kill, but too little, too late, and 2 for 4, this Phoenix is in major trouble.
And Agilitas playing like a veteran team. A lot of times we'd see teams chase this Loki or Vamana. This time around, all business. Agilitas goes directly for the red bird. 2 Phoenixes down at the 23-minute mark. The swing has been 20 kills to 14. Gold looking blue as well. 4,400, 6,100 experience. Agilitas has turned this around and is now in the driver's seat.
Man, you got to feel for the guys on Potato Boys. This is a major contention game. Oh, Proxy not letting this one go. Comfrey just barely managed to escape. Does he have the shot? Will ult. Does he have enough sustainability? Does he have the speed to get there? Repicos trying to do some damage. He can actually stop the healing if he had his ultimate, but he doesn't. Comfrey, one hit and will get picked off. Proxy just trying to do anything to keep them out of the base at this point.
Proxy might be able to get away because Clear the Path is just so incredible.
There's no way she's escaping from
Ataraxia is
Circuit.
coming here, and there's nowhere for him to go. Was that worth it?
Given the fact that they have 2 Phoenixes down, it's going to depend.
Right.
If Agilitas goes for the win right now, then no, it wasn't.
Okay.
If they try to regroup and coalesce towards like Gold Fury or try to fight in the middle lane, then it's worth it because delaying those Phoenixes as long as possible is the win.
Right, so it looked like over-aggression there, but there was a method to the madness. Proxy always looking for that extra kill, that extra step for his team to really take it to the next level. Teams hanging out around mid-camp. They know that the Fire Giant has just respawned within the last couple of minutes. Red team, Potato Boys, does have wards here, whereas Agilitas does not, so they have to physically be here to see what's going on. They just dropped the Sentry ward. They don't realize the Potato Boys know they're here, or they do, and they're going to bait out a fight.
Ataraxia trying to go in pretty early there. We'll find nothing but a banish, but it forces adapting back.
That's a great banish. That could have been a great pick. One taunt from Kanye Life into everything will just murder somebody very quickly. If Adapting hadn't hit that banish, he would have been dead himself. Agilitas going to aggress onto the Fire Giant. Curious to see if this will be real. No, just another fake. Taunt into the team. Suntouch jumps over, and there's a good damage from Dirgius, but he takes it as well. Arrow stuck in between, and his own ultimate needs to pop it. Not enough. Arrow and Ataraxia get kills in tandem. 2 are down for the Potato Boys, while all 5 remain on Agilitas. Dirgius taunted into some damage. Ataraxia again claiming a life. Very low is he, but he's going to get away from... No, yes, he is! Triple kill onto the Proxy QQ Vamana. So close to getting that kill. Turn and burn is the name of the game for Agilitas. They get the kills. They don't need the Fire Giant. They're going down the middle lane. They're looking for the gold.
You know, this is where I say look at a specific player, watch as the play unfold. Forget that. Eyes on the map. 2 waves of fire minions, and Freya can't clear them. They didn't even need to be in the base for this one. GG, guys. Agilitas will come out 2-1 in week 1. An advantage for week 2. Agilitas has their eyes on the prize.
Fantastic, fantastic game. We just got front row tickets to a great show, folks. Agilitas and Potato Boys. Both teams led, both teams won, both teams lost, both teams cried, both teams won. And all in all, we see Agilitas take home the victory.
You know, that was really, really good use of dying coming out from Kanye Life.
Yes.
Every time he died early and didn't use his ultimate. The fight extended and then would ultimate back to the fight to make it a 6v5 in the long run, giving himself 2 lives in every fight. He did that 2 times in that game. And whether he meant to or not, whether that was a strategy or not, whether it was just absolutely serendipitous nonsense, he played it perfectly, and Kanye Life is the reason that they took that one. Brilliant.
I mean, one of the beautiful things about Agilitas that we saw earlier is that it's the team. Kanye Life did great things. Confrey did great things. But Ataraxia, 10-1-10, reads the slash line. And one of the bigger plays following that we saw in that match, we're going to take a look to it right now. Here it is, the triple kill coming out from the Rom Hunter himself. You see him playing in the back line, just dishing out this damage. Gets stunned, so he's going to take some.
Now, you watch Proxy here. He's going to realize that, oh, I can ult now. I can ult now because that ultimate coming out from Circuit, that last breath, which will reduce my healing, is down. So watch, things get a little hairy. He goes right up for it, and he starts laying waste. He slows down a little bit. He does have hasten, but watch this, just barely out. Oh, and then he gets baited.
Ataraxia was so low in the presence of mind to be able to turn the communication from his team to shout out the health bar because you can't see behind you. So the presence of mind of his team to say, hey, he's low, turn and burn, and the presence of mind to trust his teammates and actually do so and turn and burn, that is some high-level play that you just don't see every day. So Ataraxia, 10-1-10, read the slash line, and he earned it.
So that's going to be it for week 1. We're going to take a look at the standings here. SK Gaming, similarly to 5 Angry Men, come out 3-0 clearly on top. Team Coast, unfortunately, getting hurt a little bit. A very similar picture to what we're seeing in North America. One challenger team comes out 3-0. The other one comes out 0-3. And the other two boys come out 2-1-1-2. Now, Agilitas going into next week have a huge advantage. As an analyst, I'm going in expecting Team Coast with their synergy this week to drop 3 more.
Yes.
For all intents and purposes, those wins are going the way. So it's going to come down to the fact that if SK doesn't drop any more games, Potato Boys and Agilitas next week is the game to watch. If Potato Boys win, we have a tie, and we will go to a game 3.
Which will be exciting. And I mean, if today's game was any evidence at all, both of these teams are able to do a lot. Both of these teams put on a great show, and I'm just excited to see next week.
Yeah, I am too. That was an incredible push from all 4 teams today. Of course, shout outs to SK for their domination.
Yes.
Yesterday as well, 5 Angry Men, Best and Mace making their return to the pro scene.
Always good to see them.
Yes, incredible stuff. Best, most notably to me, is really shining.
Yeah, Best really comes into himself playing different characters. Of course, if you missed that, don't worry. It's a 2-week relegation series, so you can find North America's series on Saturday. Sunday will be Europe, as we are going to leave you today. So check out some of the replays. Check out next week for Brandon, production, and everybody else here at Hi-Rez Studios. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you Saturday.